Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It is the Dark Mark Show, your Thursday night freak show. Josie's having all sorts of problems.
I am not. What are
Your
you
chair
talking
is
about?
too low. You can't get the headphones on. And
I
know,
had the headphones on. I didn't want them on.
And I love our new theme that was done by Kevin Crone, whose birthday was last week. So happy birthday,
Happy
Kevin.
birthday, Kevin.
You want to say hello to the Dark Minions out there, Josie?
Hello, Dark Minions.
Josie is trying to get Matt to, and we had the same thing last time because she wanted him to be close to the camera.
I did. I wasn't even here.
No, but
I was
we
in
had
a
the same
different
thing.
country.
I was trying to get him.
This is my seat now. This is it.
Oh, you like that one?
I don't know.
That's your house seat, huh?
This is the second time I've sat here. I haven't really thought about it. I thought it looked good on camera, so I was.
And he's got the sunglasses. He's a rock star.
Listen, I apologize about the sunglasses yet again, but listen, I've been on one of some set every single day for the last 5 days. Okay, so I'm exhausted. I barely can make it off the couch to get here. But I couldn't disappoint you.
I appreciate that.
You'll be very happy about actually the set I was on the last 2 days, because the last time I was here,
yes,
you said to me, you go, hey, do you shoot porn anymore? And I go, no, man, I don't really do that much. I'm doing a lot, sizzle reel, music videos, whatever.
Right.
I got a call from
afterwards.
Hustler
Nice.
earlier this week, and they're like, look, man, our camera guy, our main guy, he got called to go do something for Wicked. Would you come down and DP?
Oh, that's great.
This movie. I'm like, well, what is the movie? And they're like, all right, it's called Lesbian Bubble Bath Gangbang. And I was like, yeah, okay, so what does it entail? They're like, but look, you're going to be shooting through foam the entire time, just gallons and gallons of foam.
When they need somebody to shoot lesbian bubble bath gangbang, there's only one man to call.
Well,
that's our guest tonight, Matt Zane, if you're not sure. That is Lord Matt Zane, who actually last time you were on the show, speaking of Hustler, didn't you say, was it Hustler or Penthouse that wouldn't let you in the building? Because,
Penthouse wouldn't let me in the building.
Okay, so Hustler you're cool with.
Yeah, no, though they call me from time to time, and I can't turn down the money because it actually pays better than most music videos I do.
I'm sure.
So I just said, I just got off another video shoot by a band called Crown by Fire. And that was a 2-day shoot, and then they called up, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go down, and I just thought it was going to be relatively easy. But when I showed up, the director knew who I was, and so he had me just doing all these like crazy moves with the camera, and I'm slipping through foam and all types of shit's happening. But I thought of you. I actually took a picture of the foam and the lesbians.
Oh, I'd love to.
And I'd show them to you at some point after the show or whatever. Just because I
want to see.
I knew that you were into that stuff, and
honestly, I mean, lesbians bubble bath. Why not?
Yeah, no, listen, all guys, everybody, lots of girls like it. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I felt bad because last time I was here, you were asking a lot about like the porno side.
Well,
and
I didn't know you. I met you for the first time. I knew the reputation of Matt Zane. This is Lord Matt Zane, the lead singer of Society One, and also this is not Sin Quirin in the other seat. Sin Quirin had a medical procedure this week. First off, I gotta give the guy props because he's like, I'm not missing this show. Last week he's like, I don't care if I'm going to be at the doctor's getting a medical procedure. I'm going to be at the show. Then he texted me this morning. He's like, I don't think I'm going to make it. And I was like, that's fine. I want you to heal. I want you to get better because you're back. Sin Quirin is back in Society One. Yeah. And we all wish him the best.
Absolutely.
And recovery.
Absolutely. I talked to him the day. Yeah. I talked to him the day that he went in, and we were making some jokes. And I said, don't worry about it. The Bush Bazooka will be back soon enough.
Nice. And so
the Bush Bazooka?
Yeah. We have
the Bush Bazooka.
We have about 50 to 100 different names for his overly sized genitalia. But that's a whole other story that we can get into over the hour.
Please do tell.
So he's not bullshitting. He really has that large a cock?
Oh, yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. I remember being on the road with him, and I don't mean to start these off so early because we can talk about Sin coming back to the band in a second, but just to give you an idea.
Let's talk about his cock.
It was rather frightening because one of the first tours that we did in like in the 90s, what would happen was we didn't tour even in vans back then. We toured in a Ford Explorer. Okay. So we'd all be smushed into this thing.
Right.
And then like we wouldn't get multiple hotel rooms. We'd get like one. So we'd all have to sleep in there, right? This is back in the very beginning of the band days.
Right.
And I remember like in the very beginning, there would be like, he'd bring a chick back from the show, right?
Right.
And there wouldn't be anywhere to go. Somebody would be in the bathroom. Some people would be sleeping in the bed. So like one time I remember specifically very early on tour, like maybe the first 3 weeks, he brought a girl and there was no place to go. We were in New York City actually.
Right.
And he brought a girl into a closet. Okay. And I just remember trying to sleep because I was, I have to sing, so I couldn't quite stay up as much as those other guys. And then I just all of a sudden started, we used to joke a little bit about his dick, just a little bit, because it would bulge out of his pants all the time and shit like that. But we didn't really know the extent of it.
I never noticed.
Listen,
I met the guy a few times.
I didn't notice either, and I'm a chick. I'm gonna have to look
he puts
now.
the thing over it.
I'm gonna be looking at nothing but his.
But listen, I would be sitting there, and then all of a sudden we started hearing these sounds out of this closet, right? And it was like sounds I never heard a girl make in her life. I mean, it was like somebody was getting murdered.
Stuff like that?
Oh no, dude, I can't even mimic what was coming out. Oh yeah, it was so crazy, and I was just like, what? I have never made a girl sound like that in my life, and it created such a complex.
Because your penis, I'm sure, there's nothing to be.
Listen, it's
nothing to be ashamed
it's
of.
average, it's fine, whatever. But look, there's a difference between having an average, decent, slightly maybe larger member to what this guy's packing. Right. And the only way, you see, I got crazy after I heard this, and after I had to start hearing it every night on tour.
The show is about Sin's cock
all of a sudden, I started doing weird shit to chicks to get those same noises. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the only time that I could ever make them sound like that
I gotta hear this.
is when I started getting into fisting. And that was it. That was the only time that they could make the same noise that Sin's cock could make. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm finally making them sound like that, but I'm using my whole fucking arm here. And I don't know what the fuck he's doing in there.
Right.
It's fucking ridiculous. So after we started hearing this, like for a couple of weeks, we started, inquiring a little about it. Like, dude, what the fuck's going on down there?
I'm really curious.
No, she's all into it now.
Hell yeah.
But like, I couldn't fucking believe it.
And so is all the female audience.
Hold on.
So to answer your question, yes, it is absolutely it's a monstrosity.
Well, you must have urinated next to him, right?
Listen, I don't want to get anywhere near it, quite honestly. I blocked it out of my mind. Right. I mean, I joke about it and we'll talk about it, and it's a fact of life that you have to accept, because what happened was when him and I were in the band all those years and we had all those different members, a lot of times we get guys in the band that would be very jealous of it, and they try to be like, oh, they wouldn't, I just blocked it out and just accept it for what it is, and just left it at that.
And the irony is, Sin's kind of a short guy.
Yeah.
But his penis is tall.
Yeah.
Tripod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I don't know anything about this guy's penis, but this is Johnny Gramercy.
Johnny, how's your penis?
How is your penis? Is it? That's what we want to know.
It's feeling good. It's laying to the left right now.
Is it average? Is it big? Is it small? Is it
the other side? All right.
It is. Well, I'd say it's average in length and above average in width.
Okay. Now Johnny's got a great radio voice. Johnny's the host of Neighborhood Love Radio right here on Skid Row Studios. If you don't know, that tapes before our show, but I think it airs some other time.
It actually airs right before your show, but I promote it as a Sunday morning show. That's what I sort of visualize it.
Okay, so it does air live on from 7 to 8.
It does.
Right before the comedy light up here at Skid Row Studios.
Yes,
and Matt, I know you're ready to jump, but I got a couple things I got to announce first, because this is Rockstar Month.
Yeah.
We got Matt Zane this week. Next week, very excited. David J. from Bauhaus and Love and Rock.
That's pretty big. It's pretty big time.
That's going to be great. Also, Clonmel Monroe Day, I will be performing Sunday, May 18th. This is for a good cause. This is for kids that have been kidnapped. It's on a Sunday. It's during the day. The tickets have been reduced to $75. Contact me or Clonmel Monroe, who was on the show. 2 sponsors now. DamnItTees.com.
Damn It Tea does our T-shirts as well.
Well, you should mention that because anybody who calls 1-800-893-9562 and compliments Matt on his penis gets a Society One T-shirt anywhere in the country. Give us a call, 1-800-893-9562, courtesy of DamnItTees.com. DamnItTees.com not only has your shirts, which are great.
Yeah.
They've got cool horror shirts, punk rock shirts, just porno shirts.
Yeah.
They got like Behind the Green Door shirts. They've got a shirt. If you're into Star Wars and the Misfits, they've got one that says Misfits that's got like a Boba Fett
that's awesome.
Misfit thing. So
that sounds cool. What's that website again?
It's www.damnittees.com.
I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, and if you order from damnittees.com, you get 10% off every order if you mention the Dark Mark Show.
All right.
And we're also sponsored by Audible.com. Sometimes I forget, but we are sponsored by Audible.com.
Don't forget. That's not good.
Audible.com. If you go to audibletrial.com or audibletrial.com/Dark Mark Show, or do it the easy way. Go to our website, darkmarkshow.com. Click on the Audible link right next to my smiling face. You get a 30-day free trial and a free audiobook. Even if you cancel a free trial the next day, you still get a free audiobook.
That's cool, man.
And you can't lose. They've got comedy albums. They've got all sorts of stuff. They got hypnosis. They've got all sorts of crazy stuff. They've got a book called Find Another Cock for Cats. They have a lot of erotic books. They have
Perfect.
They have Bram Stoker's Dracula. They have a radio play with Tim Curry and Alan Cummings performing Bram Stoker's Dracula. Go to audibletrial.com/darkmarkshow or darkmarkshow.com. One more announcement, then we're going to wind Matt Zane up and let him go. Josie, you have a show because 2 weeks
It
from
got
now.
moved.
Yes. Please tell us about the show and when that is.
My band Carrera is going to be playing for my birthday. Oh, that didn't come out. I fucked it up.
Now do your thing.
Anyway,
Don't worry about me over here.
Yes.
We're going to be playing next Tuesday at Bordner's. It was supposed to be this Tuesday, but it got moved because HBO is filming a film and they had a lot more money than we're going to bring in. And we're going to be playing with Rebel Hotel and
I've seen Rebel Hotel. They're good.
Yes, they're very good. And House of Broken Promises, who's going to be leaving on tour to Europe to play Hellfest. They usually play in front of about 10,000 people.
Right.
And they're going to be playing with us, which is really cool. And it's my birthday and Angela's birthday. And
Miss Poisonous, who's been on the show before.
Yes, and Jessica is going to be doing burlesque, which is going to to be cool.
You know, I had made plans that night. Now I'm going to have to shuffle them around because there's another
MTV
girl.
Jesse Camp's going to be.
Jesse Camp. You remember Jesse Camp, Matt?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he's going to be announcing Josie and Carrera on stage.
Wow.
Hopefully, if he shows up, he's.
Oh, come on. I want to get Jesse Camp on the show. But
Awesome. Yes. Great.
it's so Matt Zane from Society One. Now, Society One is playing the venue that you were banned from. Loaded tomorrow night if you're in Los Angeles.
I'll be there, but my band won't be there.
Are you coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to come in, or you're just
Yes,
banned?
I'm allowed to come in. We're just not allowed to perform there anymore.
Okay.
I guess we kind of fucked things up last time.
What happened?
Story.
Because I didn't stand up, and that was great.
This is pretty lame. Well, the pyro I could understand because we use pyrotechnics, but we also use a big glitter bomb. You know, those pump action,
Right.
you know?
I was there. I remember.
Yeah. I guess they didn't like that too much. They didn't care about the fact that I was swinging around a big chain and knocked Angela, off her feet into the drum set.
Please, Angela,
that was okay.
Angela didn't mind either.
Right in the face. Yeah, so we're not playing there any longer.
So Matt Zane, Society One has to have been banned from some places.
Yeah, all over the place.
You guys have some stories about that.
Of course. I got more than anybody.
Let's hear it.
Well, first, I want to say this. Can I just say one thing?
Okay.
Now I'll say many
Here you
things.
go. Okay.
No, listen. You ask what you want. You do your thing. I'm just saying.
I love this guy. I met this guy. I thought he was great. You are, first off, I loved your reputation. But when I met you, you were so much better than your reputation. You're smart. You're funny.
I don't know about smart or funny, but a little bit. Just thank you.
You're self-deprecating, too.
If you say so.
Yes.
Listen.
and you've got a great ass. Oh, I'm sorry. Is the mic on? I'm sorry.
I got to say this. You can ask me. Today's the show that you can ask me anything that you'd like about the band's past, about my porno history, about anything, because I just want to put a quick disclaimer on this, okay? I want everybody to know out there, any of my future girlfriends that I'm trying to get, that was in the past, anything that I may talk about today. And it was like 10 years ago. So please do not judge me now, because last time I was here.
If they judge you don't want to be with them.
Listen, hold up a second.
You were out of town. You were in Vietnam. He came in with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend sat in the studio. Was the call?
You asked me about what to share one story. Okay, during that era, I shared just one, only one, and then like a week later, that was it.
What was the story that broke you up? And I'm sorry about that.
Well, it wasn't a specific story. That was the beginning. What happened was that the calls started coming after that story, and your show came out. You know what I mean? So your show like broke. It was the beginning of her breaking up with me. So I just wanted to let you know that. But it's a great story. If you'd like, I will share that again for the people that did not hear it, and you may find it enjoyable. And I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard the other show. I'll make a quick version of it.
The Dark Mark Show breaking people up.
Absolutely, and I was bummed.
One relationship at a time.
No, she was nice.
She was hot, she was almost a lawyer. She was in law school. But anyways, that's the past. So one day I was.
I'm glad you're back.
I'm back. Thank you.
He's back on the market.
I was.
For non-judgmental girls.
I knew this girl that I met on set. All right, I'm not going to. It was back in the porn days. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say who it was. And I was lucky enough to have her come back to my place one night, right? And this girl, man, she knew. Now, listen, you may not know because, you're a chick yourself, but like you guys will talk about, it's like those girls that just could do things that you never experienced before in your life. And that's tough for me. Okay,
because
I experienced it all, and this girl was doing things that I couldn't even fathom. I couldn't conceive of what was going on. It was difficult to explain because it wasn't so much specific things. It was an attitude. It was the way that her body would be positioned. It was a certain moaning. It was things that she'd tell me to do just at the right moment that it started hitting all these triggers in my mind, and it was just like firing. It was just unbelievable, like an experience I never had before in bed, and that's really difficult to say for me. So there was one point, she was bent over and I was behind her, okay, and had the greatest ass in the world. And she told me to take my thumb and put it in her ass while I was doing it, where all of a sudden she just made this little noise, and I almost told her in the middle of it that I loved her. And I didn't even know her. I said, and I almost told her that I loved her. Now, so check this out. So a year later, I'm sitting in Energy Studios, in a really big, famous recording studio. I'm recording in Studio B. Papa Roach is recording in Studio A, right? So we would always cross each other in the halls and cross each other in the lobby. One day, I come through, I see Jacoby, the lead singer. He goes, hey, man, you have any porno? And I go, let me see. I think I got one in my car. So I call and I give him the porno, and he's looking at it, and he's like, man, who's this chick here on the back? And it happened to be that chick that I just told you the story about. Yeah. And I go, dude, let me tell you a story about this. So I told him the story that I just relayed to you gentlemen right here and this lovely lady.
Oh, Josie's taken a thumb up the ass before.
And as I'm telling the story, and I said I almost told her that I loved her, the producer walked from around the corner, and he looked at Jacoby, and he goes, that's your next single. And Papa Roach ended up writing for that record, it was 4 years ago, their single called I Almost Told You I Loved You.
No shit.
It was about Matt Zane. They publicly said it was about me. Then they did a video for it, and they even had Suspension as homage to me within the video as well.
It was the Papa Roach story. Yeah.
That story was about Papa Roach. So that's how that song, I Almost Told You I Loved You, came about. Not many people can say that they've had a platinum selling act write a song about them. You know who else can say that?
Who else?
Drop Dead Legs from Van Halen. That's dating myself a little bit. But Top Jimmy used to be a real guy.
Top Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, but that was one of my greatest stories. And people go, oh, well, it was Papa Roach. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Who have you had that's written a song about you?
Exactly. And speaking of that, Josie Katz had so many thumbs up her ass. They call it Siskel and Ebert, but
fuck you, Mark. You got the first
Gramercy
of the night.
Johnny Gramercy is here. He's never had a thumb up his ass, as far as I know. Now, were you in a? Last time Matt Zane was here, we passed in the hall. You were, and you said you were in a band with Matt Zane.
Well, we played music a little bit in the before Society One was really established. We used to go over to his pad. He lived, I think, in Reseda.
Yeah,
and,
you're right.
Me and Scotty Slam used to come over and we'd play music.
I know Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty Slam.
Scotty Slam is he's a hard dude to describe. Probably the most fun roommate I've ever had. He's just a really good drummer.
Yeah, anybody named Scotty Slam's a fun time, I would imagine.
Yeah, he came from sort of the Guns N' Roses camp, and I don't know where he is, but hopefully he's settled down with a nice midget somewhere because that's what he always wanted to do.
He's still around. I think he's playing baseball.
But now you're an artist. You just had a gallery showing.
Yes, sir.
And you're a radio host.
Yes, sir.
How did the Neighborhood Love Radio? How did that come about? How did you get to the Skid Row Studios? Because you've been here since the beginning, right?
I went. Yeah. Well, no, not since the beginning. I came by way of there used to be a program on here called the Hot Box, and it comprised of Mindy and.
Oh, it's Mindy's fault.
Yeah, sort of. And then one of the hosts there, Mary.
Right.
And we were talking about it, and I said, hey, and at the time I was doing a show out of my kitchen,
right?
And
because you got that DJ voice that I am so
thank
envious.
He does. He has a sexy voice.
He does have a sexy voice. I say my voice, I sound like a 14-year-old kid. Like,
well, my suggestion is to drink Jameson and smoke a lot of cigarettes because that's how it happened to me.
Who would have thought?
Because I was on your show briefly, I think about a month ago or a month and a half ago.
Yes.
And we were talking about like your shows. Like I compared your show to Art LeBeau, which you got really upset about. But
no. But Art LeBeau has his place in the history. No, I like Venus Flytrap from WKRP.
Right. You got that. It's like that soulful, real smooth, and you play the best of LA rock. LA rock, funk, rap, everything.
Funk, soul, reggae, a light dusting of Afrobeat and hip hop and stuff like that. The best of soul and funk, past, present, and future, really.
There you go.
Oh, sorry, we're looking at porn over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. So So anyway, so
I always bring out the best.
So Matt, you didn't believe. You were like it's quite possible the 90s were kind of a blur for me that you played with Johnny.
Oh, it wasn't very long, no.
Yeah.
But we also knew each other professionally as well. I used to work with Shane's World back in the day. Remember Shane's World?
Yeah.
And Dominic, I worked with Dominic for a little bit.
Unfortunately, it's too bad for you, but I know
it's not ringing the bell, but you're it's entirely possible.
I felt horrible because he's like, dude,
if it's he would say it.
But
he doesn't remember.
all the people that he's talking about, yes, it happened because it's Scotty Slam, yes. But dude, we must have jammed seriously like a couple of times. It must have
like
been
a handful of times. Yeah, that's all it is. So, but we were somewhere between acquaintance and friends. I mean, I've been over to your pad. I was at Jonathan Davis's bachelor party.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
There's another great fucking story right there.
The fisting incident. Well, we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
Well, not the fisting. No, transvestite.
Oh, yeah. That one didn't get me in trouble because that was about somebody else.
Yeah.
I can tell stories about somebody else all day long.
We told that story on the last show. You can go to Skid Row Studios and download that one. It's on our YouTube page if you go to Dark Mark Show.
But we'd like to say that we traveled in the same circles back then, and pretty much every story that I've heard and all these accounts, they're not somebody just sort of fabricating and composing. No. They actually happened. All that shit really happened.
Well, I want to get to it. I didn't mean to interrupt, but when you were here last, we were talking about how Ministry took like half your band.
Yeah.
Including Sid Quirin.
Yeah.
And now he's back.
Yeah.
So how long has this been in the works, him coming back?
And we talked about that with Sin and with Aaron.
I saw that show, and I loved how you were great that show because the one guy that was here, Aaron, said, oh, yeah, and he took half the guys from Prong. And he's like, oh, you're like, oh, so he steals from Prong, but not from Society One.
Right.
No, it's cool.
Well, I guess he steals from both. No,
it's all good. It's all good. I don't really care. I mean, whatever happened. It is what it is. I don't really give a shit. But yeah, as far as Sin coming back to the band, this is basically what happened. Long story short, and again, because I could make a half-hour story out of it, but we were doing a show at Skinny's. You were there.
I was there.
I think you were there, maybe.
Yeah, Josie was there. She professed her love to me at that.
And it just so happened that the guy that threw the show, Scum Love from Schecter Guitars, who just sponsored Society One. Thank you very much, Scum Love, Schecter Guitars.
We gotta have Scum Love in here.
Yeah, he's got some good stories, and I got some with him that interconnect. But that's a whole other thing.
We might have to have the both of you in.
So we were. He decided to have Sin's birthday party the same night that we were playing. But he didn't tell either of us.
Right.
Until we found out about it when the flyer came out. So I called up Sin. I go, yo, dude. I said, he's already, at that point, came to see a couple of shows. So we were already talking and stuff. Okay. And I go, it's going to be really weird if all of us are in a room and we're playing and you don't come up and at least do one song. And he goes, yeah, you're right. And I go, would you be cool with that? And he's like, oh, yeah, I didn't think that, Right. I'm like, absolutely. Fucking come up. Which one do you want to do? So we said a tune and we did it. And here's the facts from that night. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if you know it. That was the most packed Skinny's had ever been.
It was pretty packed.
It was almost sold out.
Right.
When he went up on stage, the energy went from like an 8 to a 12.
I was there. I can attest to that.
It was insane. People genuinely really loved it. And, we started kind of talking a little bit after that. And I was just like, wow, man, we didn't really expect that kind of reaction.
Right.
And after we did that and the videos and the pictures came out, we started getting interest from people. And a management company from Black Radar Management from Europe contacted us and were really interested. And Sin and I just started talking and saying, I was like, dude, what are you doing? What can you do?
Right.
And he's like, I'm like, do you have time? Can you really do it? And he's like, well, yeah, Ministry's on hiatus right now. I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's see what we can do. And
so why did he leave the band in the first place?
Ministry.
So he got the call and he just, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, were
you guys fighting or was it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But the story that he told in your show is exactly what happened. He got called to do Revolt and Cox first.
Right. And
then he got picked up by Ministry. So, I mean, he was really busy back then. I mean, you got to understand. I mean, Society One was a cool band. I never professed for us to be bigger than we were. But, I mean, come on. It was Society One and then, Ministry called. You know what I mean?
It's a different level. I get that. But and as much as I do like Society One, and we will play some in the...
Thank you. But yeah, so he went and he often did that, and we waited around for about maybe 8-9 months waiting for him, but he just kept getting these gigs and going on tour, and finally I was just like, God damn, I wasted a year.
So
just
there was
like
no animosity.
Nothing.
It was just a little animosity, but you weren't. It wasn't that you hated each other.
No, it was jealousy. Really, the band was really all of us, and I don't have a problem saying that now. I'm an adult now, you know what I mean. But it was like we came up together, and then this guy was off doing. He's just done amazing shit. I mean, Sin's had a great career. I have no issue saying that.
Still having it, yeah.
But I was really like, because half my band now is in ministry and they're off touring the world, and I'm left with a drummer, Davey was in the band by that point, but it was just like, I was like, what the fuck is going on here, So yeah, I mean, there was definitely a little issue there. We didn't talk for some years, but that shit happens. I think all bands, can go through that shit.
Well, you just, how long were you talking before the birthday show? Like, we were talking about a year.
No, not that long. He ran into my brother at a porno award show, and he's like, "Yo, have your brother call me."
Oh, okay.
And I never reached out to him for a couple of years because I didn't really necessarily know how his camp was gonna take it, because I said some things in the press about that camp over there, and and they didn't really appreciate it. And I used to get calls from Angie actually back in the day, like pretty bad.
Because you're not somebody that thinks a lot before you talk. You just let it all out.
Listen, I'm an honest guy, and I just say what I say, and I say what I feel, and I probably shouldn't have said a lot of the stuff that I said. I'm not saying it's
diarrhea of the mouth, but he's not somebody that if somebody told him, be quiet about these things and you'll make money, or just say them, you'll say them.
Yeah, I said them, and I probably should. I should have kept quiet, but I didn't. And my career paid for it in a lot of ways. But
you don't play the game, but that's what's good. You're
absolutely, yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, look, that I don't. It is what it is.
You were huge in the '90s. I mean, you both were on VH1.
Mm-hmm. I had 3 shows on VH1. I had 3 shows on MTV. I was on a couple of ancillary shows. Other than that, like Jerry Springer 3 times. I did like 12 different shows over in Europe. Television shows. Yeah. I was in Spin Magazine, 4 pages, bigger than Korn back in the day. Details, Rolling Stones. This was all there was magazines.
I remember. That's why I was amazed that you actually came down to the Dark Mark show. I was very honored that. I'm not bullshitting you. You're somebody that I've been aware of, even though I didn't even know your music. As somebody that, if you were around in the '90s in that scene, and you followed music then, you were around. And the porn thing, too.
Yeah.
Which is what most people know about you.
Well, listen, that's arguable, because a lot of people, depending on what age group you're in.
I really don't.
They knew about the porn thing. That was the big thing. But I saw a huge switch after we got signed to Earache, and I started doing the suspensions and all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, so to wrap it up, Sin came back to the fold. Fans have really been loving it. We got signed to new management. There's a lot of talk about a lot of stuff going on. We're not only doing the show tomorrow at Loaded, but we're with Wayne Static and Dope the following week over in Pomona.
Really?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
absolutely.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm going to be in Vegas this weekend, so I'm not going to make the Loaded show, but I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Wayne Static and Dope. That's great.
Wait, it's us, OTEP, Wayne Static, and Dope.
That's a great lab. I love OTEP.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
That's in Pomona, up at the Glass House. I think that's on the 21st. But you can look, up our site and check it out. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming in, a lot of offers, and a lot of shit happening. And I got to tell you,
and he's going to be on the new record, or he's going to be on the new songs.
Yeah, we're going to write new songs together.
Recording now, or
we're recording now. We have some of the stuff, but he's going to come in. We're going to record and write some new material with him. We've already been sending some ideas back and forth.
Who does most of the writing? Do you write everything and then give the band the?
I do a lot of the writing, but we all collaborate. Sin and I were the primary songwriters when we used to jam together. But so we're going to do some more of that. And there's just a lot of stuff happening. And things have kind of gotten a lot bigger, a lot faster than I anticipated. I'm getting like 100 friend requests a day now, on Facebook.
Great. Well,
my
Dark
Facebook
Mark show will do that to you. But
yeah, exactly.
Well, you're playing an acoustic show.
Not to me yet.
See, this is what I want to hear. I want to hear this. I'm going to play a little bit of this, probably about a minute or so, because I've got there's more filthy stories I want to hear from you. But
yeah, you can ask me anything you want for the next 26 minutes.
Exactly. So if you could play the acoustic song, Mindy, I like to hear this. I want to hear Society One acoustic, because you're not exactly Joni Mitchell. I got to hear this.
Oh, dude, I can belt it out better than you think, dude.
Let's hear it.
All right, there's a little header on it, so fast forward. There you go. Pretty creepy, right? We did a whole acoustic show.
Is this in a guitar? Is this?
No.
Okay. All right.
But he has played acoustic with us.
Who's playing acoustic?
Me.
How come you don't play It's My Life?
I'll still pay for your
you actually can sing. That's good.
It's crazy, right?
I'm not used to you with the lower register.
Yeah.
How come you don't play guitar live?
Because I'm too busy jumping around shaking my junk.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, people like that shit.
Because you could get like an acoustic guitar like shaped like a dick, just like your microphone.
I could, I guess, yeah.
Oh, check the guitars. We gotta let's work on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Listening scum?
I was gonna ask you about because I actually mentioned you. I was hanging out with our mutual friend who's been on the show, Tesla Coyle, who does suspensions too. Mm-hmm. And she told me I want to get your verification because we talked all about your suspensions.
Okay.
You're the world record holder. You beat Chris Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked her what the appeal is of that, and she said that the one thing that you always take for granted is gravity, and that's the last thing you want to let go of. Mm-hmm. So when you finally take that step and let go of it and just put your trust in the suspension, says it's the biggest high you've ever had, more than drugs. Mm-hmm. Just letting go of gravity and just hanging there. Is that correct?
Maybe for her it is.
What's it like for you?
Well, the most spiritual experience that I ever had, and again, I remember, my suspensions are so different than everybody else's. And I know this, you have to understand something, a couple of things here. I hold the world record, a lot of world records in suspension. One of them being the fact that I once did it in front of 40,000 screaming fans while singing. Nobody's ever done that before. Right. So, you get the high from suspending, but also the fact that you're playing in front of 40,000 people.
Doesn't the setup take a long time?
No. You rig it beforehand, you know what I mean? And then I just get pierced and go up. And then you got to remember the other suspension that I did, the 6-hour suspension. that was the longest 4-hook suspension in history as well. Right. So that really, it's not really necessarily for me about coming off the ground and losing gravity. That is just about the amount of pain, and it's like the pain becomes the catalyst for the trip that you're on. You're having an experience through the.
Well, I'm sure you get some sort of endorphin rush from it.
The endorphins wear off, and that's when the real trip happens. Before that, you don't really feel much. When all that shit leaks out of your system, and all that you're doing is riding
I'd feel it right away.
I'd feel it right away too.
I would feel it right, and I'm not into it. Of anybody here, I've got the most loose skin. Yeah, Joseph's a close second, but I would feel it right away.
They would have to pull it up so high to get you off the air. I'm sorry.
You could do it. No, but so for me, that was like when you talk about every experience is different. And then I did another one where I played guitar. Then it was the fact of improvising music.
You told me about it.
Yeah, you know what? So it's it's all different for everybody.
Because I'm going to see Jane's Addiction in Vegas. That's why I won't be for your show. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, they've incorporated suspensions in their act.
And that's part of the reason why I don't do it anymore.
Everybody. So what's the next thing?
I don't know. It just depends. I was on a video shoot just this last weekend, and the owner of the label was like, "Oh, I saw that you did suspensions just like Dave Navarro," and I just wanted to slap her. Listen, I love Dave Navarro. I can't say his name enough. He's done amazing things by him, and he puts it out there that he saw me do it, and then he got the idea, and it's all good. But normal people don't know that. Right. And so now what happens is it's become a thing like Jane's Addiction, like Dave Navarro. And I don't know how to tell these people I was breaking world records before they even knew what suspension was.
Exactly.
And it's not a knock on them, They can do whatever the fuck they want. I love them. They're great. Right. They're an amazing band. Dave's a great guy. Right. But it's frustrating. I mean, you know what I mean? The only possible thing that we're talking about doing as far as the suspension show again is if we were to do a 10-year anniversary over in Europe at Donington, because that's one place where
you would do it at a big festival like that.
Yeah, just specifically over there because those people know. Over there it was a much bigger deal than when I did it over here. It was at the Key Club in front of 700 people at Jay Gordon. Right. When I went over there, it was there's 70,000 people in the festival that day, and it went over the BBC, and I got nominated for Best Live Performance with the London Symphony Orchestra.
You also London Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah, all that crap. So it's like people know. It's like if Jane's Addiction went over there, nobody's ever going to walk up to me and say, "Oh, like Dave Navarro." Over here, it's like I'm a peon compared to Dave Navarro. You know what I mean?
Johnny, have you ever done post suspension?
I have not.
Right?
No, but I know what they're sort of talking about. I've had similar experiences, like with branding and things like that, where you transcend and go to a different place. My question for you, though...
Have you been branded?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've been doing
what's branding? Tell me about branding. What is
branding? Well, there's different kinds to do it. There's a single strike branding, kind of like what they would do with the cow,
Like actual branding? Like actually taking a hot piece of steel.
Have you done this more than one time?
Yes. Yeah. I did it all over my arm.
Oh, look at that.
Here.
Wow.
First time I went through a 3-hour session, that was a little intense. I probably wouldn't do that again.
3 hours.
But anyway, my question from that was, if you're not doing it anymore, if you got some sort of spiritual high out of it, is there anything you do to sort of replace it? Did you just leave it and move on?
Oh, after the last time that I did it? Listen,
Just
man.
as far as like a spiritual sort of high that you might get off.
Dude, after you suspend for 6 hours, that's enough spiritual high to last you for a very extremely long time. And I'm not kidding, man. You got to understand,
6
like,
hours?
nobody can really necessarily understand that. How many people have walked on the moon? More than one. How many people have hung longer than 6 hours? None. Me. You know what I mean? It puts you in a very isolated mindset, so you don't necessarily, you can't really relate with
If somebody were to do
anybody.
it for 7 hours, would you try to break it?
No, you know what? There's been a lot of people that has come up to me and said, I'm going to break your record. You know what I say to them? If you do it honestly and you do it without drugs, then more power to you. And if you break it, I get my hats off to you, because there's things that when you go up there that they're not even ready for. They don't even know that's going to happen to them. Very specific, just like physiological things, like the fact that your knees swell up. And if you can't do a lotus position very easily, you're going to lose circulation and you're going to have to come down just because you can't handle it on your knees.
So you were hanging and you were putting your legs in the lotus position?
Absolutely. I had to, because I didn't even know that I was going to have to deal with the circulation issues. Because I could do partial yoga poses while I was suspending, it allowed me to be able to stay up there for that long.
Wow.
Normal people that would go up in that position. When you look at Chris Angel and you look at other people that try to break records or try to do records, when Chris did the original record, he did a Superman horizontally like this. And that was because of the circulation. Because the moment you go like this, after 3 hours, man, if you can't bend your legs in certain places to get your ankles above your knees, you're fucked. And that's a lot of things people don't even realize. They think, oh, I can handle the pain. I'm going to fucking beat it. There's been dudes going up all over the place trying to beat it. Nobody's been able to do it yet. Wow. And I'm not saying it like, oh, look at me. Maybe I am. I don't know.
That's Lord Zane right there. Lord Zane. Let's save the rest for last.
Modest.
Well, let's hear some droopy stories now.
Anything you want today. You know what, dude? You've only got 17 minutes left.
I know.
So.
We rehashed a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, it's your fault. I'm giving you an open book. And
Let me ask a question.
Okay, Mindy's got a question.
Because you're talking about how you've done like all this awesome, sexy stuff.
Yeah,
being a
sure.
rock star.
Okay, yeah, rock
Do you ever
star.
get road boners? Like vans give you hard-ons?
What?
Road boners.
What is that?
That's when you're on tour and you're in a bumpy van for so long that it just gives you a hard-on.
No, I have.
I have, but you know.
I mean, I get it, but I'm a girl, so.
Yeah, I can tell you a story about a van though, and a bunch of boners.
Do you ever have to like stop and everyone just gets out and whacks it at a rest stop? That's my band.
You need a new band.
I have a better story about the van and boners.
Wait.
Mindy, we're starting a band together. We
I can
talked
top
about
all
it.
stories.
Let's hear it, Lord.
Okay, we used to play a game with a groupie, right? We'd be at a show, right? And like, this is a true story. This happened a lot, but I'll give you one specific thing. And again, disclaimers, many years ago. She said, hey, I live about 3 hours away. Can I hop on the van? And, you know, this is when we were in a van. This is States, right? And can drive. And we go, okay, yeah, we can give you a ride, but this is how it works in our band, okay? When you get on the van is fueled, okay? The van is fueled by dicks, all right? The dick is the fuel for the van. And you want to know what the machinery is? You. So you have to fucking constantly be doing one of three things while you're on this van to be able to get home. You have to be stroking, sucking, or fucking somebody. And when one guy is done, you have to go to the very next. And if you finish the band, you have to get to the roadies. You are not done. And then if you finish the roadies, it starts all the way back to the top. So what happened
you were the
is...
top.
Well, I don't know who went first. We definitely didn't want to let Sin go first because he just would have ruined it for everybody.
Right.
But so basically, we put him in the van, and then we had the van was huge. It had partitions and shit. There's a little back room.
Well, it had to accommodate Sin's dick.
Yeah, it did. And what would happen is so she'd start number one and go through the whole thing whenever the guy wanted, and then second guy, third guy, and the moment they'd stop, we'd pull the van over and be like, all right, got to get out. And she'd be like, I don't understand. Like, well, you stopped. You got to have a dick somewhere in your vicinity and doing something to it for the van to keep going. And she went for 4.5, 5 hours and got through the entire band and all the roadies.
Unreal.
I think that's a world record too, isn't it?
She was a trooper. We actually saw her later at another show, like a couple months later.
I'm sure.
Another van.
She didn't even want to talk to us. She was very disgusted. You know what I mean? Right. She's like, I have to get home. I think she had to get home that Monday morning because I think
her husband.
No, it was her kid. I go to school or something.
Well, at least her kid was in the van in the back seat.
No, we didn't fuck with that shit.
Mommy, how do cars go? How do cars start? Well, son, you got to suck a dick, and there's got to be more stories than that.
Of course there is, dude. It's endless.
It's funny because when Sin and Aaron were on the show, and we never got to because we were talking about ministry and how they stole your band and everything.
Yeah.
But they were talking about the girls in Europe.
Aaron had his girl, too. So
I know. His
respectful.
girl was here, so we didn't really talk about it. But the girls in Europe, especially, I believe, the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. Can you corroborate some of this? They're dirtier than the United States girls?
You know what, man? For us,
Thailand.
All the girls are dirty. Every single one of them was dirty. We were every girl was so dirty for us that we had a surplus of girls. Other bands that we tour with, the headlining acts, would come to our hotel room for our surplus. And I'm not going to mention any names, but I swear to you, we would have 14 girls in a room per night. And the other headlining acts would every night on our door, and they'd be like, "What do you guys have left tonight?" And this is the headlining act. You know what I mean? And so
can we say Limp Bizkit was one of them?
No, Limp Bizkit was not one of them. I have Fred Durst stories, but that's a whole other thing. But
we'll get to one of those.
As far as I have a Europe story if you want to hear it, and it's not directly related to sex, but it is because it has semen in it. But we went on tour once. So there was this troop of girls that was forced on our bus to open up the show called the Satanic Sluts. They were like the European version of the Suicide Girls, right? Okay. Anyways, every day they'd get up and they'd fucking rub like fake blood on their tits before we played. And they walked around like they were fucking rock stars. And we were paying for the bus and the whole bit. And we're just like, who the fuck are you? So we decided to get back at them one night. And Dirt, is a very large gentleman, took off his underwear that he was wearing for 3 days and put it in their bunk, so they'd sleep on it. Right. And they found it and they just threw it back at us, and it really wasn't enough to really rattle them, So we waited the entire tour. We really couldn't do anything to them until finally the last show. Their boyfriends came to town. They decided not to take the bus the last tour, or the last stop on the tour. Right. So we're on the bus. We're like, fuck those chicks. How the fuck are we going to get back at them? Like, nothing rattles these chicks. They're like all about it. They're like, hold on a second. Is there like props here for the show tomorrow? And they're like, yeah, I think they're in the downstairs lounge. So we went downstairs and we started rifling through them and we found their fake blood, right? And we're like, oh, that's all spit in it, right? And we're like, no, that's not good. Let's piss in it. No, piss isn't good. And we're like, oh, we got it. The drummer, he hasn't dropped a load since he's been here because he's married. Drop a load in this fucking thing. So he dropped a big, huge, juicy load in the fake blood. We filmed all this, by the way. Right. The next night, they're doing their show. All the bands come out. They're filming it. They're watching it. They put the fake blood all over them. They're rubbing it on their tits. They're kissing each other with it. We're laughing our asses off. We go backstage. They go backstage. Their boyfriends are like, oh, baby, you did so great. They start kissing their boyfriends with the fake blood. One girl turns to the other girl and says, I think the blood's going bad. It's got a really weird taste to it today. Right?
Let's throw up a little more now.
So we actually edited that and put it on one of our DVDs.
Right.
And we turned it into the label. And it was an hour-and-a-half DVD, and the label came back with their lawyer and said, you have to edit out these 45 minutes and these events for us to release this DVD.
Wow.
It was 45 minutes of footage that they felt would cause them a felony. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And we didn't know it was a felony, but that's a felony, by the way.
It is a felony?
Absolutely.
To jerk off in somebody's blood?
Oh, yeah,
No, take a shit.
Oh, take a shit.
No, we jerked. We jerked off.
I thought.
Did you listen to the story, Joseph?
Drop a load.
Drop a load, man.
Drop a load. Come on, get with it.
Dropping a load. Okay, Josie, since you're listening so well, what is your wildest groupie story? Because you've had girls and guy groupies, I would imagine. Well, Matt probably has too. Have you had any guys come up to you?
Absolutely.
Let's hear a story about that.
Well, there's really not much to say. I mean, I will tell you this, though. Back in 99, we used to tour with this band. I forget the fucking name was. Kevorkian and Death Cycle, right?
Okay.
All fucking gay guys in the band. We didn't know that when we fucking went on tour with them. Nicest dudes in the world, whatever. Yeah. And we're talking to them, and, the whole band. They're explaining, oh, this is how you wear cock rings, and they're telling us all about this gay culture and shit. And we're like, cool, whatever, bro. Right. So we loved it because they would take all the dudes from the show, and then we'd get all the chicks.
Yeah,
so we'd go back to the hotel, and you'd walk by our hotel rooms. It was like Sodom and Gomorrah, because one room, all these little fucking guy groupies are getting butt fucked. Then you come over to our room and there was all these crazy ass fucking chicks in there, and it was just everybody was fucking getting fucked all over the place. Dudes, chicks on that tour, nobody was safe. It was fucking ridiculous. Why gotta get into comedy?
You never see these things at the Improv. I got to tell you.
No.
But Josie, what was the weirdest groupie experience that you ever had?
Oh man, I didn't think you were going to ask me this. Really,
I posted on Instagram.
I know, but usually I don't get. Right. I usually stay out of the question.
Should I save that for the birthday show?
That's all right. I have more if you want more.
Let's hear more.
Listen to him.
Let's hear Matt's. Did you ever tour? You guys never toured together. You were on Puerto Rock together.
On the road stays on the road.
Yeah, not with Matt. Matt,
careless.
Yeah, so more groupie stories. So what else? What are the hijinks now?
You want to hear some really sick shit or what?
I really do.
Like some really nasty, filthy, fucking foul shit.
Yes.
All right, I'll tell you about two things right here. Okay, and this is first of all, I want to disclaim. I've been tested, by the way, since all these stories. All right.
Right.
There was a time, dude.
You haven't really told anything that you've done. That's
I'm about to open it up for the last couple of minutes.
By the way, you didn't drop a load in Josie's Perrier, did you?
No, she's safe. Okay. We were shooting for a DVD, right? And so we were getting chicks on the road to do all this crazy shit. And one girl said to me, she goes, Matt, I will cut your initials into my stomach with a razor blade, and you can film it. Okay. I go, hey, this is pretty cool.
It's devotion.
So I'm filming her, and she cuts big ass letters in her stomach, a big MZ right into her stomach, and starts bleeding out of her stomach. And I was like, holy shit, this is getting serious. And she goes, fuck me. And I go, oh, man, this is fucking some weird shit. So she lays back, right? And she just goes, just get on top of me, just fuck me. I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe I'm going to fucking fuck with this shit. You know what I mean? I don't suggest any of this, Josie. So anyway, so I'm banging her. And then all of a sudden, I pulled out, and she's like, come on my open wounds. Oh! So I came on her open wounds, and she's like, it stings. It's so good. And she took the bloody cum. Then she pushed it down to her vaginal area and used it as lubricant to finger bang and rub her clit to a secondary orgasm. Okay? And I was just like, I finished with that, and I was like, I'm going to hell. I am the most disgusting man on the face of this fucking planet. I can't believe you just told that fucking story.
Inspired. This is what you inspired from a female fan.
Yeah, that really happened. That's the first blood story that I have.
Okay, what's the second blood story that you
Second blood story was I did a suspension once, right? And there was a
look at that smile.
There was a girl that
look at the creepy smile. I love it.
That came back afterwards, and we get to it, and she said, I get on top of her, and she goes, "Can I touch the wounds?" And I'm like, "My back?" And she's like, "Yeah." I go, "Okay." And she's like, "Listen, I'm really down to fuck, but I have to tell you something." I go, "What's up?" She goes, "I'm on my period." And I was like, all right. And so we started going at it, and she was bleeding profusely. I was bleeding profusely out of my back, and she was just rubbing it all fucking together. And we passed out after I fucking dropped one of the biggest loads of my life. I woke up, and it looked like there was a fucking murder just occurred.
I can imagine, yeah.
I opened wounds and blood fucking everywhere. Blood, cum, sweat, naked bodies. Oh, fucking just, it was just like, what the fuck did we just do? What did we just fucking do?
So she put menstrual blood in your wounds and
and a mouth fucking all over the place.
Yeah, I was like, I've put a towel down. That's about the extent of the stories I have.
Rubbing it all into each other, the cum and oh my God, it was just fucking just the most disgusting thing
wings.
Ever. It's endless. It's endless.
Johnny, do you have any good groupie stories?
I'm going to take Matt's cautionary tale to heart from earlier. I got someone I'm really in love with, and so I'm just not going to.
Well, let me ask you one question. I'm going to get back to. We're going to get one more Matt Zane story before we get out of here.
Yes.
Do women hear that sexy voice on the radio?
All the time.
Do you? I know you have a girlfriend, but do you have women that contact you through the station? And
I get let's say no, not really. I get a lot of compliments on the social media. Let me put it that way.
Right. But you never have a woman. Oh, I love your voice. And,
I've heard a thing or two. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, I got a girlfriend. Oh, Johnny. Because we're all over the world, so I'm sure you get women. I love that voice.
Well, no, I wouldn't say I get fan mail per se, but yeah, there's a fair amount of comments and stuff, on social media. How's that?
That's good. It's hard to top the blood and cum story. So I'll see. Yeah. So
everybody thinks they can always top my stories. Nobody can.
No, I didn't think it would top it. But I thought I thought maybe there'd be like one girl like, oh, I love your voice, and yes, I love your song selection, and was all some girl from Europe that was all over you, and anyway, you're in reference to your girlfriend, I will let that pass. We got one more story for Matt Zane. Let me just think.
You want another story?
I want
porn or rock?
Porn, because we got the rock.
Because I have a sin rock story that's really funny. I can't hear what she's saying.
We're gonna play the Last Society one track when we get out of here.
Yeah.
Do you a sin story or porn story? Josie, you tell me. Can you do both in 5 minutes?
I shut her up finally. She got speechless after those two stories. She was just in the beginning, she's like, blah, 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 and she's like, what the fuck am I sitting next to?
Are you sure it was that or the Siskel and Ebert comment?
I'm not shocked. I'm not. I mean, I've lived life, trust me.
I'd like to hear, do you got a story about our old good friend Lynn Strait at all?
Yeah, I got a lot of stories about Lynn.
All right.
But most of the people know him. Know the stories.
Lynn Strait from Snot, but you told one of the stories because he was at the Jonathan Davis. He actually did porn in the movie that he actually did fuck the girl in one of your movies.
Yeah.
Let's hear a porn story.
About Lynn or just about porn in general.
Do you have a good Lynn Strait porn story?
I mean, I've told it a lot, but I mean, it's not really.
Well, here's tell a porn story you've never told.
Oh my God,
on
dude.
The air. Now
you're gonna have to make me think really hard because I remember I did porn for 10 years. So, oh man, there's just so fucking many of them. There's disgusting ones and funny ones, and just, it's just, they're endless.
Let's hear a funny one.
Let's hear a funny one.
Okay. I was shooting a scene once, right? And there was a guy named Dave Hardman that used to be in the business. You'll remember, this guy was like a fucking fuck horse. You know what I mean? He would fuck anything. He'd fuck it all different
Dave
ways.
Hardman?
Yeah, he was just insane. He was really weird. He was part of this group called...
He lived in his van or something.
Yeah, it was fucking ridiculous. Anyways, this guy, nothing would ever make this guy go down, ever. So anyways, one day we're shooting a scene and he's banging this chick, and all of a sudden we're starting to smell this odor, okay, that's starting to permeate the air in a way that we've never felt or smelt before, okay? And I'm thinking Dave's going to get through it, but it keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And finally he pulls out and he looks at me and he goes, I got to fucking talk to you. The first time this motherfucker's ever stopped a sex scene in 4,000 sex scenes in his life. He pulls me in the back room and he's like, dude, you got to do something about this. I can't fucking handle it anymore. I go, dude, you're Dave Hardman. Of course you can do it. And as I'm about to say this and I'm lecturing him, I can smell it off of his dick. I can actually smell the odor off of his dick. I was like, where is it coming? And I looked down and I could almost see it just like coming off of his cock into my nose. And I was just like, that is the most foul, disgusting, wretched vaginosis I have ever experienced before.
I was confused. I didn't know if it was the vag or the ass.
No, it was the vag, dude.
Oh, is that bad?
It was the worst thing. I don't know. Something crawled up there and died.
You know what? She probably didn't get rid of a tampon or something.
I don't know what she did. It doesn't matter what it was.
Josie seems to know a lot about this.
Yeah.
No, I heard a story about this on the radio the other day.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
that's good.
someone left one in for 2 months and.
So there's got to be another. Tell the disgusting porn story. That
wasn't disgusting.
What was a funny porn story?
Oh, what do you want to hear about? I know I got stories about everybody.
Who do we want to hear about? Nobody that's around this station.
Let's see if you could top Ginger Lynn.
Yeah, we had Ginger Lynn on. I don't know. But
it's funny because my mind was in band stories. I didn't think about much. You can have me back again, and I'll tell all porn stories.
Oh yeah, I definitely. When Sin's back up, we'll have the two of you again. But give me one more band story though.
There was a time once when we were on tour with a new bass player that was only 19 years old and he was really young. He wasn't used to it. And Sin and I brought this girl back to the room, and we just decided for whatever reason he was banging her in the bed. And so I decided to hop up there and try DP. You know what I mean? And he's laughing while I'm fucking doing it, and we think it's a big fucking joke. And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck are we doing? And the whole time we're laughing, we think it's a funny thing. This only lasts for a couple minutes, but then we peek over our shoulder for a second, and the new bass player's peeking out from behind the corner like this.
Oh!
Stroking his dick to the whole fucking thing.
Matt
Which bass player was that?
I don't want to tell
you. Out him.
Yeah, no, poor guy.
Matt Zane never disappoints. Matt, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, hey, we got a show tomorrow at Loaded. Come by. It's only $5, 10 o'ck.
And you're playing with Skin Mask.
Oh, we are? Great.
Christian's guitar player.
Facebook.com/Mr. Zane Rising. Just go there and find everything else.
Lord Zane, thank you again.
With Naughty.
Why do I care, honestly?
Hey,
seriously,
we gotta support each other.
No, it's bullshit. It doesn't work that way. Absolutely.
Johnny, how do we get a hold of you?
Let me see. You can tune in. You can tune in the archive on the show, neighborhood-love.com.
Which I recommend. You pick some really cool songs, a theme every week, and everybody loves the voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Johnny Scott Gramercy on Facebook?
Yeah, you can find me. I'm fairly public.
And Josie, Josi, Kat, K-A-T.
Yeah, just Google me.
And the other, we're going to play Society One now. Is this a new song, brand new?
Yes, it is.
Brand new exclusive Society
One. Produced by
One.
Alex Crescione.
Produced by our friend Alex Crescione.
Alex!
Have a wonderfully creepy week, everybody.
Thank you.